Monday Club turns 21 episodes old. That is right, Monday Clubbers. Monday Club is 21 episodes old. That means we can drink in public now. We cheers to adult playgrounds in Canada. We also talk about Gus's new house. Everything's broken in it. What are you watching on TV? I do a show with an insane migraine. Gus finds a lot of magic books. Oh, did I mention we're 21 episodes old? Cheers, sir.
Cheers, my friend.
How are you?
Oh, my God. I sort of started day drinking a little bit before this episode started since we're 21, so we'll see how this goes.
You purposely went out to an adult bar to get carded, show your Monday Club 21 ID.
That's right, man. Jello shots all around. Whoop, whoop. How you doing, buddy? You
Good,
doing okay?
man.
You've had some weird issues happening to you.
Yeah, man, I had some crazy migraine stuff happening, and I'm feeling a little better today. I'm still a little achy around the body. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's like, I've never had a migraine before, so I don't know what to do. My wife has the same exact symptoms as me, so we're thinking it's some sort of weird disease that we caught. Like, hopefully we stay alive through this.
Well, yeah, Dr. Gus says step 1 is to drink some tequila and see what happens, and step 2, you might want to go to the old doctor there after a couple of days with the headaches and the achiness and all that stuff.
Gus, do you remember what happened last time you told me to go to the doctor?
It cost you $17,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
On second thought, just drink some tequila and I'm sure you're fine.
And call me tomorrow.
That's right, man. Just check in every once in a while.
Let's start off with a cheers for us turning 21, Monday Club.
This is a pretty big deal, man. Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, that is over 20 episodes. That's pretty good.
Way to math, man. Way to math.
We have gathered 21 times. We are gathering today, the 21st time, to talk for about an hour about fun and sometimes useful shit.
Yeah, and also, man, congrats on the club growing. It's pretty cool, man. From such humble beginnings as 2 listeners, me and you, to where we're at now. That's pretty awesome for a bunch of jackasses sitting in our respective houses across the country.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So in regular Monday Club cheers fashion, we are cheersing today to adult playgrounds. Now, don't get all getting sexy thinking on me here. This is like a legit playground, but for adults.
Yeah, but that being said, when you Google searched adult playgrounds, what did come up?
Yeah, there was a big entranceway and the archway. There were multiple adult playgrounds. Some were fun like that. Some were sexy playgrounds. And there was an archway of a woman's behind, like bending over. So you'd be walking through under her legs into this adult playground.
So I'm just saying, if you want to find this adult playground that we're talking about, follow the link. Or if you really have to, hit the private setting on your browser before you Google search adult playground.
Yes, don't do that at work. Don't Google adult playgrounds at work.
No, it's not going to help you very much. Anyway, this adult playground is in Canada, I believe, and
Toronto.
Basically, they took the best of Dave & Buster's, the best of like laser tag, and then they shook it up inside of a bag with a whole lot of other fun things and said, "Here, drunken adults really want to do all of this stuff." So let's walk through this. Let's walk through this clip real quick.
I'm playing. All right, so they're walking around with lightsabers, first of all, right? Everybody has a lightsaber.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a lightsaber section of this. Yeah, because it looks like you can rent lightsabers and just go to town. And honestly, for my birthday, and I'm a grown-ass man, but as a grown-ass man, if you said, "Hey, we're going to some place that you can rent a lightsaber and have a lightsaber battle with your friends," yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, totally. And apparently it's Saber Sundays.
Saber Sundays? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they like the, what's that called when you have...
The alliteration?
Alliteration, yes.
Yeah, I went to private school.
And they have Nerf guns, and they're flying around and shooting each other with Nerf guns. They have a big orange ball pit. Some guy's doing capoeira with a lightsaber. It's intense. They have obstacle courses. It's like half American Ninja Warrior, half Army obstacle course, half Jedi training. That's 3 halves. So we should totally take a field trip to Toronto. We have so many field trips lined up.
We do, man. We'll talk to the HR and the budgeting department and see what we can get for our field trips.
Southwest does not fly to Toronto. We're screwed, bro.
Oh, man. But so for this adult playground, let me just say that they do have like Ninja Warrior courses where you have to jump over walls and climb over army nets and all of that stuff. They have a Nerf battle arena that's there. I mean, seriously, is there anything about that you don't want to do? I mean, all of that sounds great sober, but I mean, I assume that people go there, they hit the bar, and then they go have a Jedi battle and climb in a giant ball pit. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's lots of injuries because of that.
I'm sure. Dude, when you were a kid, did you ever get into the ball pit at the play zone or wherever you had?
I would imagine so. I remember going into ball pits at like fairs and stuff. I loved those. Those are the best.
Yeah, they were pretty awesome. I think they were awesome because you could pretend like you could dig underground and you could just, swim basically underneath where everybody was walking, and then every once in a while somebody would just step on your face. You're under the ball pit.
I remember when I was a kid, when I still lived in Rhode Island, there was a news story about a hypodermic needle being found in a McDonald's ball pit. And after that, I don't think I was allowed in anymore.
Yeah, like stories like that totally killed the ball pit for kids. I also remember I had a friend who worked at one of those, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese, Pandemonium, whatever it was called. Anyway, and he said that the worst job was every month or so they had to clean the ball pit. And so they had to like take the balls out and they'd find diapers and tampons and just nasty shit just at the bottom of the ball pit. And I can only imagine, man, like that's gotta be terrible. It's just terrible.
Well, at least they clean them out. They should clean them out every day, not once a month. Jeez.
Well, they clean them out when they say, but I'm sure some people are like, nope. Not my job description. We'll do it next month.
Yeah. Pass the buck on that.
That's right.
So, cheers to adult playgrounds and child pursuits by adults. What are you drinking, my man?
Well, today is Monday Club's 21st episode. So, I pre-gamed already with one of my favorites with a Blood and Honey revolver, but now it's gone, so I don't have it for the show. So, I substituted beer this week with, it's called El Amo. I don't know if you can see that or not.
It looks like a badass bottle.
It is a badass bottle of silver tequila, and I'm just going to be taking shots throughout the show. I don't have to pick up Bryce today, so I have a designated driver. I'm being responsible on my 21st celebration. And then to chase it down, I thought I'd chase it down with some Jack and Honey in a cup, too. So there we go, buddy. I'm doing my part for Monday Club.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gus Davis! He is chasing tequila with Jack and Honey. You are unoriginal,
as one does.
Man. That's awesome. I'm way not as cool as you. I've just got my regular old mojito today because, it's my favorite. And today is the drinking day. So I'm doing my delicious mojito, and the end of the summer's coming. So I got to get them in before like September and the mint plant dies.
Well, my hope for you, my friend, is that mojito cures all of your ills. Because yesterday you were pretty out of it, and so let's see how mojitos and ibuprofens mix.
Yeah. I'll get into it more too in Stories from the Road. I had to do here's a little tease. I had to do a show with the migraine, but we won't get into that yet.
Oh, I'm so excited / sorry for you, my friend.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys for listening to us on Monday Club and being part of the club and sticking with us through our 21st birthday. If you're joining us because we can now go to the bar, if you're going to be our friend now that we can join you at the bar, that's cool. We'll accept that. We'll be friends with you. And thank you for listening. Make sure you tell a friend about us, rate us on iTunes, and email us if you want. mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. Gus, do you ever have those friends before you turned 21 that wouldn't hang out with you because they were 21 and you weren't?
No, I didn't have that, but I did have the friends that got really, really tired of me, like being that fake-ass friend that would call them and be like, hey, man, how you doing? And they'd be like, let's see, it's Friday night, it's 7 p.m., I have a card that can make me go buy liquor, and Gus is calling. So I'm just going to assume that you're just calling for me to do a beer run for you. What? No, let's hang out, man. Totally. But before you come...
Can you pick me up a 30 rack?
Yeah, man, you know, I'm good for it, man. I'll pay you back. Dude, did you ever have a fake ID?
No, I never had a fake ID. But down by UCF, University of Central Florida, where I lived for a couple years, a buddy of mine knew a bouncer at a little shithole bar that was like college bar. And if you put like, I don't know, a 10 or a 20 underneath your ID when he went to go look at it, he would just let you in.
For real?
Yeah. So we were like 19 and 20 and we were just slipping him like a 20 and we'd go in and it was like $2 Coronas too. It was like super cheap for like 2 hours. So we would down like 6 Coronas in like 2 hours to get our money's worth. And
yeah. That's When I was in college, when I was a freshman in college, I remember that we went to there's a big bar scene in Austin called 6th Street, and we would go up and down 6th Street, but we wouldn't go on the weekends when, you know, the party was happening. We'd go when on
Mondays?
Maybe, Monday. I don't know. Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays when they had quarter night, and it was, you could for a quarter get any draft or any well. You know, you couldn't do the top shelf, but you could do any draft or any well for a quarter. And so for $5, you could take your friends out and just be a baller out there. And I did have a fake ID. Thank you, FCC. Stop censoring us. But I did have a fake ID, and my fake ID looked absolutely nothing like me. In fact, I remember the name on my fake ID was Nadeem Poonawalla. I'll never forget that. And I would just go in and they'd look and be like, Nadeem? I'd be like, yep. All right.
That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Which cements our hypothesis that Mondays are the best day of the week because you get the best drink specials and you never have to wait for a drink.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about you, right?
Did you ever have like a bar that you and your friends went to all the time? Like you would just go in and you get like a pitcher of beer, or you knew the bartenders really well or anything like that?
No, I never had like a local bar like that.
That's too bad, man.
I mean, we did, but we never like became... When I lived around where friends were, we were always too cheap to really go out often. It was so much cheaper just to buy a ton of beer and drink it in the house.
Oh, man. There was a little while in my life where I had a good group of college friends that were here, and we would go to the same bar at least 2 or 3 times a month, which isn't even that much, but we would go there and knew the bartenders, had our favorite pitchers that we would get. We'd get, you know, these pitchers of beer for $10, and everybody would just hang out. And man, I get that drinking can be a dangerous sport, right? Like, I get that. But it was also, man, it was so great to have that bonding experience of bringing everybody together, and everybody had their own chair that they always sat in, had the pitcher of beer that we all liked, and just shot the shit like we do here on Monday Club. So, yeah, I kind of miss that. I think we should get back to that. Now that I've moved and I'm settling in, I think I'm going to try to find a local bar and just be like, hey, anybody want to come hang out with me tonight? Let's all go and, you know, knock back a pitcher at this bar.
I have a great idea for you, Gus.
Hit me.
You should move again, but this time to Maine, and then we can do that.
Look, man, how about this? I have never gotten a migraine in Austin, so why don't you guys move to Austin? And then, I mean, as far as I can see, the empirical evidence shows that you will never get sick while you're over here, and we can just go to the club.
All right, I'll look into it. All right,
just run that by your wife and see what she says.
So how's your new house coming, man? Are you enjoying, what's up with that? Are you enjoying being a homeowner?
Yeah, so thank you so much. I am enjoying the crap out of our house. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. It is all coming together. We are 100% operational. I just installed the dishwasher and the refrigerator and the stove by myself. So, I've got some handyman cred right now. And so all of that's going all right. But man, I moved in here and literally every project that I've tried to do, it has been so much harder than it's supposed to be, right? Like, I tried to install the refrigerator, but the refrigerator line that they have run out to it is a dishwasher line, not a refrigerator line. So I had to go out and get a whole bunch of converter things to make it work. Tried to install the dishwasher, and the dishwasher pipes were too old and had to get replaced. Had to try to install the dryer, but the dryer vent is completely clogged, so I have to have a dryer guy come out here and unclog our vent for like $200 while he climbs around in our attic and tries to get us good airflow. Like, just every single step of the way, things have gotten just jacked up. And so for those of you out there who are just struggling through life, man, let me just say, it's all a game. Just keep grinding. It'll all get solved. Just keep grinding. It's all right. Drink some
Enjoy
whiskey.
renting that apartment and having somebody fix everything for you.
That's right, man. Goodness. So, yeah, man, thanks for asking. We truly love our house. It's beautiful. I'm getting the office still set up, so the office is actually kind of the last room that I'm getting done, but it's going to have a nice sleeper sofa couch in here. I'm going to get some acoustic baffling in here to make the recording sound even better. I've got my library getting set up, which I'll talk about in a little while, and I found some koozies to hold my drinks, so it's all good.
Score. Well, you're going to feel so amazing once all that shit's done and you're just settled in and things are good. Obviously, it never ends being a homeowner. You always have some project happening or decoration to do, but once you get the main thing, it's going to feel pretty awesome, I think.
Let me ask you this, dude. Are you a handyman? Like, do you paint your own walls and try to rewire your own stuff, or do you hire that out?
My first instinct is to find somebody who's done it before and to hire them.
Okay.
Because not that I don't want to do that stuff. It's I have so many other projects and things going on in my head. To fill it up with something else just seems really difficult to do, to wrap my brain around. But I have fixed a huge hole in our drywall before. It wasn't just spackling. I had to cut it out into a square and then get another piece of drywall, put it in, and put a backing board on it, then put the drywall stuff over it, and then repaint it. And you couldn't tell anything had happened. It was that fucking good.
I'm different than you. My first instinct is try to fix it myself, even if I have no idea what it is that I'm doing. And the reasoning behind that is when it's done, I always feel like I learned something new, and also it's sexy to me to look over the wall and be like, you see that wall? Do you see a hole? No? It's because I fixed that wall, bitch!
I always think, though, if someone's done it before, say a project that has taken someone who's done it before an hour to do. That means it's gonna take me at least 5 to 8 hours to do. I have to learn how to do it. I have to go get the materials. I have to try to do it. I have to screw up at least twice, and then I get it right on the third time, and then a potential second or third trip to Home Depot. So in the end, how much money am I really saving? And if it costs me $300 to hire this guy for 1 hour, or I have to spend $50 to $60 in materials and tools and use an entire day up to do this, how much money am I actually saving?
To me, you're saving $250 and also learning a new skill that will serve you well later. Like, for me, I think that when I attack all of these different home projects, I don't want them to be magic, right? Like, to me, when I flip the switch and the dishwasher powers up, without knowing how that wiring works, that's kind of magical to me. I know people who will listen to this and say, well, duh, I mean, that's how electricity works. But seriously, I didn't know how those things were connected until I've taken it apart. And so it takes a lot of the fear away from it for me, and it also has led me to the spot where when something's seriously jacked, and I can look at it and be like, oh, man, I don't want to get anywhere near that. That is way too jacked. I at least understand why it's way too jacked, so that when someone comes in and says some dumb stuff like, oh, well, you need some new windshield wiper fluid, I'm like, that's not a thing.
For my countertops?
Right.
Yeah, I like to find somebody that is good at that shit, give them some money, and tell them, do it right. That's my preferred method. I will fix shit on occasion, but that's my preferred method of attack.
Well, that's cool, man. I think because it's all new to me still, I think I'm still in that. I want to attack it all by myself. Like, we're going to redo, we're mostly done with the kitchen. I want to redo the lights in the kitchen. And then we're going to do the bathrooms. We're going to totally redo the bathrooms, pull out the sinks, replace the mirrors, replace the showers, retile, all that stuff. And I think what's going to happen
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to do all
You're
that.
You're going to do all that yourself?
Yeah, well, except the tiling. I think I'm gonna have somebody else come out and do the tiling. But yeah, I'm gonna do all that myself. But I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get started with all that. I'll get halfway through, end up having to go on tour, and have to have somebody come out and finish it out for me.
Oh man, you are way more manly than I. That's awesome. That takes balls to even start to undertake a project like that. That's crazy.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks. Well, for everyone listening, thank you. I really have been enjoying my house. It's been awesome. I cannot tell you how happy we are in here. So yeah, thanks, man. It's going fine.
Nice. Well, meanwhile, you're fixing everything and doing all this manly stuff. I'm experimenting with new cold brew coffee techniques.
Nice.
Yes, I have a pot of carafe, if you will, of cold brew brewing right now. I got some fresh beans from my local roaster. Yes, I go to a local roaster. And I bought a cold brew pitcher, and it had a cylinder, stainless steel, like aluminum or something that doesn't rust, filter in the middle of it. So you put the grinds in it, and then you drop it into the carafe of water. And so all the grinds are kind of in the center, and that brews it. But I thought, wouldn't I get a stronger, better brew if I just dumped all the grinds into the water? So that's what I did. I dumped all the grinds into the water, mixed them up, and I'm letting it sit for 24 hours. And then I'm just going to pour it through a filter and see if I get a freaking strong, amazing cup of dark roast cold brew coffee.
So I heard everything you said, but I couldn't help but notice that you have a guy who deals in beans, in coffee beans?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Kennebunk the roasters of Kennebunk. They buy their beans, and they have sacks of beans all around the store, and they have this over 100-year-old cast iron coffee roaster, and they roast it right in the store. They have different beans they buy from different places, and then they roast them accordingly. So, obviously, the darker the roast, the longer they cook them for, and so forth. Yeah, and then they sell them.
Man, that sounds like a legal way to sell drugs. I mean, basically, they're just like, "Hey, man, do you want to? Do they sell them by the ounce? Is that how it works?
It's by the pound.
By the pound?
Yeah. By the pound.
All right.
Yeah. Although Maine recently legalized marijuana, but the governor said that he kind of like threw it back to the towns and to dictate whether they're allowed to sell marijuana in stores, like have marijuana bars or have it be sold in their convenience stores. And so now all the towns in Maine are voting whether they're going to allow the selling of pot. You can still smoke pot, you can grow pot, you just can't sell it in Maine right now until all the details are worked out. So my town, or the town over from me, is voting soon on whether they're going to allow the selling of weed in my town.
And what's your vote? Are you going to vote on this?
I don't know if I have a vote. Well, it's a town over from me, so technically I don't have a vote in that.
Okay.
But my town, I don't know when my town is going to vote on it. I would vote yes.
Yes to being able to sell it at a weed dispensary store.
Yeah, or I'd be fine with selling it at the 7-Eleven. Or even at bars. Like, you have like a weed bar and you just sit outside by the fire, token up a little bit,
Yeah.
Like you just go to a bar, instead of having taps of beer, they have, I don't know, dispensaries of weed. I don't know.
Yeah, totally, man. This whole marijuana issue in this country has been really strange because it seems like the trend is going to be slowly but surely every single state is going to realize just how much money is in there for a revenue service for selling weed, and also for the partakers of said weed. I think that you feel safer. You're not doing anything illegal. You're enjoying responsibly, just like you would enjoy a cigar or a drink or something like that responsibly. And as long as everyone is being responsible about it and also paying their taxes to the government, I really don't see what the BFD is here.
Yeah,
so
I would love our town to get that revenue. Also, here's a little example. In my neighborhood, there is a kid that sells weed. He's a dealer. He's been before it was legalized, right?
All right, and his name is?
Now, I have no problem with smoking. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he sells other stuff, but I'm sure that's his main source of income is pot. So, I mean, he's been arrested a couple times, but every once in a while you see people come to his house, right?
Right. Let's just say people stop by for, let's say, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they just leave. He has a lot of friends.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. Well, he is a nice dude. I have nothing against him. But my problem comes is if it's illegal, first of all, the violence that selling weed could potentially bring to my neighborhood, you know?
Right.
If it was legal, it puts this guy out of business, right? You know, if you can buy it down at the 7-Eleven without fear of being, you know, arrested by a cop, I'm all for that, because then it doesn't make there's nothing, it puts him out of business, and then there's no potential violence in my neighborhood. You know, it's gone. It's just legal. People can do it. They can go to they can buy it at 7-Eleven, go to their house and do it, go to a bar and do it. And I don't have to worry about strange, nefarious people showing up in my neighborhood.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, man. And I think that it's hard for me to have that same kind of sympathy. I mean, maybe you're not being sympathetic, but it sounds like that whole idea of, oh, well, we're going to put that guy out of business. It's like, man, that's not a business. A business is something that you can, deduct off of your taxes with your P&L sheets. Like, that's not a business. It's what that guy is doing to make money, and, okay, that's fine. And whether or not he's a nice guy, that has nothing to do with it. My point is that if it does end up in the hands of 7-Eleven or bars or official dispensaries in your town, then great. At least it is regulated. If someone gets sick off of it, they can have recourse. If they know where it's coming from, so it's not going through nefarious travels and border crossings and whatnot. Anyway, I think that is really the point here, is that weed is in this country regardless of whether you partake in it or not. And so making it legal and taxing it just makes it safer for everyone involved. And like you said, gets people from showing up in your neighborhood at 3 o'clock in the morning for 5 minutes and scoping out your yard because they need to get their fix on.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what goes good with pot?
What?
TV. Netflix. Endless streaming service of Netflix and HBO.
Oh man, look, I'm gonna cheers you with a 21 drink right here on that transition,
cheers,
buddy. Good
man.
job.
Game of Thrones is back, bro. Are you a Game of Thrones nut like I am, or what?
So this segment's going to be really painful for me because I really and truly don't watch that much TV, man. But the answer to your question is no, I have not. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. I've read all the books, if that counts.
That's good.
I've read all
great.
the books, but I haven't been up on the TV show. And I know the TV show's great. Like, from the first 2 episodes that I saw, I was like, okay, they did a great job. They cared. They took the books and they just put them in the TV format, changing up what they needed to make it work for TV. I love HBO. I think HBO, all of the major players in TV media have stepped up the game so much, I think because of HBO, and made TV into a medium that is where all of the actors want to be. Like, if you're an actor in Hollywood and you can get a great role in a movie, that's awesome. You've made a couple of $1 million and it took you a couple of months, maybe a year, to get that all the way through. Good for you. if you're an actor in Hollywood and you can get on a show like Game of Thrones or one of the Netflix original series that they have going on, that is a legit paycheck for you doing the thing that you love to do. And yeah, man, like, more power to all of those people in the industry for stepping up the game of TV. TV has really, really become the new entertainment medium now, as opposed to, oh, well, TV's this thing down here and then the movies are up here. Like, screw that. Most actors want to get a TV special.
Yeah, I used to definitely look down on TV because I felt like there wasn't any good TV. This was years and years ago before all this. Basically, Breaking Bad changed it for me. Once I watched Breaking Bad, I was like, this is a game changer. No, TV is never going to be the same again. And for me, it wasn't. And more of that style of show came. It was episodic movies, basically.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
The budgets and the great writing and the amazing storytelling that they do, the cinematography and TV, it just was insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've read all the books of Game of Thrones too, and last night, now I think we're a week behind in these episodes, so last night was episode 4, and it fucking kicked ass. Quick spoiler, just a quick spoiler. Dothraki plus dragon equals death to Lannisters. Oh my god, it was insane. It was very much insane. I love Game of Thrones. What else am I into?
Well, let me ask you this, because we're going to get into some of what we're watching right now, but how do you watch TV? When you're at home, not on tour, do you watch TV as a group, as a family, or do you have your shows that you watch, your wife watch her shows, y'all cross over a little bit in the middle?
Me and my wife have completely different tastes when it comes to entertainment. I love that type of movie storytelling. She's more of a veg out, watch a reality TV show while on Facebook and just half pay attention to it sometimes. She uses it as a way to disengage her brain. I use it as a way to get my brain into another world, because for some reason that relieves my real world brain and my fantasy brain gets engaged, and it just pumps me up full of energy. For her, she just kind of like, it's her recharge time, so to speak. So no,
yeah.
She can't even be in the room when I watch Game of Thrones because it's too graphic and stuff. And I like turning it up loud, and she's like, so she'll go upstairs and let me have my Game of Thrones moments. And then I shut off all the lights. I turn up the TV and I grab a snack, and I'm fucking in it, man. It's awesome.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I guess I'm different from you. I think Shannon and I basically watch the same. When it's TV time, we'll just sit down and have TV time, and we'll watch TVs. Like I said, listeners, I apologize. I am so far behind on so many shows. I know there's a bunch of great shows out there. I was actually on the phone with Brian Brushwood yesterday, and he was asking me, dude, are you watching this? No. Are you watching this? No. What about this? Sorry, man. What about this? No. But you saw this, right? No, man. I never saw that. It's like, God damn it. What's wrong with you, man? Anyway, apparently I'm supposed to watch The Shield because it's amazing. I know. Guys, I know. I've gotten told so many times. I know The Shield's amazing. It's on my list. I'll get to it. I've watched the first season of Deadwood and freaking loved Deadwood. It was an amazing show. Great writing, great acting, great sets, great costumes. Never really finished it. And I think for me, the time when I watch TV shows like that, because of Netflix, Hulu, and all of the other streaming services, I watch them when I'm on the road a lot. So if I'm stuck in an airport or if I'm in a hotel and just can't go to sleep, I'll watch a show. But I have to be in the right mood for those shows. Like Deadwood or Game of Thrones or any of those things, they're so intense that if I watch them at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to fall asleep, I'm going to end up finishing the season. The sun's going to come up and I'm going to have to drive to the airport on zero sleep. And I know that about myself. So it's really hard for me to get into a show that is that intense. I really like the hour. My favorite is the hour-long. It starts, it has the problem, they solve it, and it's over show, right? Like I can do, like the BBC Sherlock. I can watch that and then go to sleep and the episode's over. There's no cliffhanger at the end. I can usually watch like a Gotham. Do you like Gotham?
Oh, I love Gotham.
Gotham's great.
Yeah,
So
love
I can usually
Gotham.
watch a Gotham, and even though it usually ends with a cliffhanger, I can put myself aside for that. But really and truly, I don't watch that much TV. In my previous life, in my previous relationship, we had the TV on probably 8 hours a day. Like, as soon as we walked in, the TV would come on, and it wouldn't go off until we closed our eyes at night after the late show with Craig, whatever his name was, Ferguson. In those times, sure, we'd watch like the DIY shows, we'd watch some reality TV shows, we'd watch the late night shows, we'd watch just constantly having that background noise. So I get that that's how some people watch shows. But for me, yeah, it's like a movie, man. I'll go and I'll sit down. I want to enjoy the whole experience. Like you said, I want to turn off the lights. I want to crank it loud. I want to watch the thing. But I have to find that exact right spot for me to do it, because at midnight, if I start Game of Thrones, man, I'm going to finish that season before I go to sleep, and then that week is wrecked for me.
Man, that's why you have to be up with it, because, well, at least HBO, they don't release them like Netflix, like all at once. They do weekly, so now we have to wait till next week for the new Game of Thrones. So if you were up to date with it, you couldn't binge watch the current season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I mean, but to get up to date, that's a whole lot more commitment than I'm willing to do.
Yeah, but it's an amazing ride that I wish I could take again for the first time.
All right, well, so here, let's do this. For all of our listeners, let's talk about this. The question being proposed to you, my friend, is what are you watching? What is holding your attention that's making it where you're enjoying your TV watching experience?
Right now. So Game of Thrones, obviously. I just finished the first season and the only season of Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, with Mark Maron is in it. Mark Maron, podcaster of What the Fuck, WTF podcast. And he plays, I mean, he's not like the center character, but he's really the only person I know in it. It's about the 80s. It's a take, not about. It's a take on, there was a women's wrestling league in the 80s called Glow, and they do a little show about, they do a series about women's wrestling in the 80s, and they have all these, really over-the-top characters like the Russian and the smart bookworm, and Mark Maron's kind of the director of this whole thing, and it's really good. I was a little, before I started, I was a little wary if I would like it or not, but I really got into the characters, and it was really interesting and fun. Love that show. Silicon Valley, another one on HBO. Hilarious show, almost through the whole season right now. Love that show. Check it out. And those are the two I'm watching, or three I kind of currently am watching right now. How about you? Well, you just said you don't watch TV because you're smarter than everyone
I don't
else,
that often, but there's a couple that I think deserve credit on TV right now. There's a lot of good TV on there right now, and I think it's great that there's enough good TV that different people can be watching different things and say, oh, hey, I'm watching this. It's really good. So for me, I think one of the best shows that has been released in a long time, Black Mirror. Like, the writing, the acting, the storylines are just freaking amazing. And it's like what you were talking about. They are mini movies. They're just great. Whoever cares about stories, Black Mirror is a great show. And they do something very Hitchcockian in these shows, in that they take a premise and they usually look at that premise from every different angle, throwing in some weird sci-fi stuff in there too, but not too much so that you can still really follow it with your brain. Anyway, it's really, really good. Black Mirror is one of the things.
I watched the very first episode of Black Mirror with the pig, and that disturbed me so much I could not bring myself to watch a second episode. I was so disturbed. It wasn't even, I don't know, it disturbed me so much. I was like, I can't.
A lot of them disturb you. I mean, a lot of them will hit they're hitting a point in your brain that is disturbing, but they're all exceptionally good. I suggest for everyone out there, if you've never watched any Black Mirror, check out Season 3. Watch all of Season 3, and if you can get through all of Season 3, go back and watch all of Seasons 1 and 2. I think you'll be happy. So Black Mirror...
It's not even Game of Thrones either. It's, like you said, in your brain. It's psychologically disturbing.
Yeah, it's very psychological. There's usually not blood or guts or anything like that in there. It's just mind fucks, which is really cool. So, Black Mirror, Stranger Things, amazing. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. So Stranger Things is like an homage to Stephen King that he has nothing to do with. So there's that.
Love Stranger Things too. Waiting for the next season.
Yeah, Gotham is. I'm a huge Batman nerd, so Gotham is really cool for me. What else do I really like to watch on TV? Right? Oh, I'm embarrassed to say this. I am truly embarrassed to say this, but I watched all of the Daredevil seasons, season 1 and 2. I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan.
Why are you embarrassed about the Netflix Daredevil?
Yeah.
Why are you embarrassed? That was amazing.
Season 1 was pretty amazing. Season 2, they were
With
just
the
like
Punisher. What?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that good.
No, it was pretty badass.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
It was awesome.
And then I've been recently my guilty pleasure thing to watch, and I think I'm gonna say this because I think it defends me a little bit. It's the perfect amount of time for me to watch a show. It has no consequence for me at all as to what I think about the world. It's just a show to watch, and I can smile and enjoy it, and then it's over. I'm sorry to say, fans, that I've been watching Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 3 seasons now.
Gus,
yeah.
Guess what?
What, buddy?
My guilty pleasure lacks any guilt. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's all pleasure, man. There's no guilt in there. Come on. I mean, yeah, you have to buy into this crazy world, and there's kind of a wink and a nod here and there, but come on, they're having fun with it. They're good.
Yeah, they are having fun. So at my old apartment complex that I just moved out of, it was our last day of moving. I'm super hot and tired, and we're driving away. And we stop at the stop sign. I turn and look left, and somebody has a black Durango that is painted up and stenciled to be a Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. van.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
got S.H.I.E.L.D. on the side. The license plates are vanity license plate. They say S.H.I.E.L.D. 1. Like, it has black tinting on the windows. They just decided they're going to have a S.H.I.E.L.D. mobile. And I got so ridiculously happy. It just made me giddy.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, there's our guilty pleasures. Well, your guilty pleasure and my pleasure, which takes us to... Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road. So, as previously said, I have been battling a crazy migraine over the last few days. It started in its intensity on Saturday, and it was like throbbing pain every time I angled my head down, so blood started rushing to it a little bit. It's just started throbbing uncontrollably. I could barely move my eyes back and forth because it was just painful to move anything. My entire body ached. I just felt off. I would get chills. It was crazy. I've never experienced this before. I thought I had Lyme disease. I guess I could still have Lyme disease. I haven't been checked, but the symptoms are fading today. I don't have a headache, but I'm still pretty sore. But in the most intense day, I had to drive 2 hours and do a show for 500 campers at a summer camp.
Oh, no. Man,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I get there, and I'm trying to act happy to everybody. Oh, how's the summer going, and not trying to move too much, and just trying to make it like I'm really happy to be there, which I would have been really happy to be there had I not been in intense pain. Yeah, so I set up, and during the show, I was trying to put out a lot of energy. I was putting out a lot of vocal energy, as much. If I got too loud, it would actually hurt my head because more blood would rush through my veins to provide for that extra oxygen usage of energy. And I was going to take it out, but I decided to leave it in, my straitjacket escape at the end of the show. And that's what totally did it for me. I was moving like an 80-year-old man trying to get out of that straitjacket.
Did you make it out in time or no?
Yeah, I got out in time. All was good. I think they really loved the show, and it was very painful. The drive home was intense, though. My eyes were like half-masked because the pain was so throbbing in my head that I could barely keep my eyes all the way open. But I just wanted to get home and get in my own bed. I felt that would have been way better for me than grabbing a hotel you know?
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Man, so working through being sick or being in pain while performing is awful. Like, I had my last 2 weeks, I've had 2 shows each week, and I'm still recovering from my motorcycle wreck, so my shoulders hurt, my ankle's still twisted, my left wrist is jacked up, so I can't lift anything with my left hand. As performers, it's a hard call, right? Like, on the one hand, you have to perform to get your paycheck, and you want to do a great show, so you go out there and you just, I don't know if this happened to you or not. I know that you said during your straitjacket escape it was rough, but that adrenaline of performing kicks in, and you can get through almost anything. I know I've performed shows with broken fingers, with having pneumonia, and still doing a show.
Oh, yeah.
But there's got to be a spot where you tell yourself, man, I am just too sick or too hurt to do this. Have you ever called off a show because of that?
No, I have not. I've had mono before. I've had like 103-degree temperature. I've lost my voice completely. I would just turn up the gain in my microphone and whisper it to the audience. You know what, the show must go on, as they say, right?
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm guilty of everything you just said. I've done all of that, right? I don't know if I've ever had mono, but I've definitely been sick and performed a show with a crazy temperature and all of that. But, man, looking back on it, I think to myself, man, some little kid came up and picked a card and came home with mono.
Pick a card, any card.
I hope
you
your
got
parents
the mono
have
card,
insurance,
kid. I've never canceled the show from being sick. The show must go on, as they say, but if it doesn't go on, you don't get paid, like you said. So I do what I can to get paid because we don't get sick days. We don't get paid if we don't show up.
That's right, man. And if you only got 2 shows in the whole week, you gotta be there for those shows. I get you, man. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I hope that trend continues, and by tomorrow you're 100%. Thanks for drinking with me.
Yeah, no worries, man. Although I will give a word of warning, and I'm sure everyone's done this. Don't Google your symptoms, because I started out that I potentially had Lyme disease, then meningitis, and then I put it out on Facebook that I have terrible migraine to see what anyone had in mind to help me get better. And I got like a slew of people saying, go to the doctor right now. My friends had a migraine, and they were diagnosed with cancer or aneurysms and died. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I'm about to die now.
I'm glad that's not just me. So, yeah, man. I told you to go to the doctor too.
Yeah.
But that's all love, man. It's all love.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So my story from the road today is that as everyone knows, I've been moving and been setting up. I finally have an office that's big enough for me to put out my library books, my books of magic. And I'm super excited because I have realized over the last couple of days while unpacking and setting everything up that I have a library of over 250 magic books that I didn't know that I had. And a lot of them are just like these super thin paper. Somebody wrote their notes down and turned it into like a stapled pamphlet magic book. And so I'm super excited over the next few months to just sit back and read through all of these notes and see if I find any gems that are going to be some cool old school magic tricks. So yeah, that's been really fun to discover all of the knowledge that I have accumulated over the years that I had no idea that I had.
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite things to do is pull out an old magic book and flip through it and see if you can find any cool ideas. And I'm kind of obsessed with going through beginner magic books and trying to pull out good ideas because it's crazy how many really good ideas make their way into beginner books for like 5-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm the exact same way. One of the things I think is so funny from all of these books is how sexist they are.
And racist.
And they're super sexist, super racist. Like one of the books I was reading last night was like, all right, so you're going to get 2 people, a gentleman and a lady. Have the gentleman do all of the math because the lady won't be able to do any of the math. Then make sure that when you address her, you tell her that her spirit is going to do all of the stuff that, women do. So it's going to find the card, but in a very ethereal kind of way, whereas the man is going to do all of the logic. Like, I was just reading this, I was like, God damn, that is some sexist shit to write.
It wasn't back in the day. It was normal, right?
I mean, yeah, whatever. Anyway, ladies, I'm sorry that magicians were assholes. Pete and I are much better than that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? Here's a segment idea for us. We should, when we're reading through magic books, just jot down all those racist or sexist sentences, and then we can combine them into an epic segment of Monday Club's most racist and sexist magic book quotes.
I can just hear how excited all of our listeners are about that segment.
I think
actually
it's funny.
I'll tell you what. I will look through that book and find that one passage because it was ridiculous, and I'll post that somewhere for everybody because it was pretty funny.
You know what's great though about laughing at this stuff is how far we've come. You know, I mean, we can look back.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we can look back on some of the more mild forms of this and laugh at it. Being like, oh, you thought calling this person that was actually okay. Well, it was back in the day for some reason, but now it's really offensive now.
Right. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. Well, I'll find that passage and I'll post it because it really is. It's hilarious how they're just like, all right, now the lady may faint if you do this correctly, so make sure that she has a chair of some sort and a fan.
And it's also really funny because it's not true, like, have the guy do math because the girl can't. Obviously, that's not true, but
right.
So it makes it funny.
Right. It's pretty funny. But like you said, man, it is really, really fun to go back through those old notes and see if you can find something that is something that you can use. And what's really cool is because they're such old magic books, they have principles that use the kinds of stuff that I really like. It's like, use a piece of cloth and a rubber band and a clothespin. And if you use all those things, you can make something really, really amazing. And nowadays, with so much technology, I think that those kinds of effects are the ones that really fool people because you can't technology your way out of that one. It's just...
Yeah, we talked about that last week, using common shit over
technology, yeah.
Not to arouse suspicion. So I think we want to teach you guys some shit.
Teachable moments.
How did that come out so goddamn good?
I don't know, man, but I'm proud of that one. You know, it's our 21st episode. Do that one again, and I'm going to take a shot to it.
All right, here you go.
Teachable moments.
Shot of tequila, and now he's chasing with Jack and Honey. Oh, Gus, you are hardcore, my friend. Hardcore.
It's gotten much warmer in my room now.
I see the sweat dropping off your brow.
Oh, my God, yeah. Whew, that was tough.
Ooh. Well, for my teachable moment this week, I want to say that caffeine helps headaches. I want to teach you this if you don't know this. It's one more good reason to drink coffee. That's why I'm brewing up some cold brew for my headache. So I just Googled this, and this is the reason why it helps. Before a headache or migraine, blood vessels, this is quoting directly from headaches.org. I always thought that was org. Does that make me weird?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Before a headache or migraine, blood vessels tend to enlarge because it contains vasoconstrictive properties that cause the blood vessels to narrow and restrict blood flow. Caffeine can aid in head pain relief. I guess it doesn't say exactly why. It opens up those blood vessels?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's caffeine helps headaches. So if you have a headache, drink a pot of coffee. Could be good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good teachable moment. My teachable moment is just as good. So this week I had a chance to sit back. I was trying to rehab my shoulder and my ankle and my wrist and the rest of my body. And my wife and I sat down and we watched a movie that we had been wanting to see for, I don't know, almost a year now. It's a movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman. I'll say that again. 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman. Holy crap, you guys. Go watch this movie. If you're a fan of suspense, you like good storytelling, and you like it when a director just keeps you guessing to the very, very end, it was a perfectly put together movie with good acting, good drama, good suspense, and the ending of it just was worth all of the time to be out there. So that's my teachable moment, people. Go out there, get you some good silver tequila, have a couple of shots for Monday Club on our 21st episode, and watch 10 Cloverfield Lane. You will not be disappointed. I love you guys.
I'm going to do that, Gus. Hey, cheers again to 21 episodes, man.
Hey, brother, you too, man.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club 21 episodes deep. You can check us out at MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/Monday Club Podcast. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Email us questions, comments, concerns, or buy us a drink, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much to James Caldwell, our amazing sound engineer. Thanks to Zach Holder for our music, and thank you to you. Have an amazing, killer Monday.